Good evening. The day has arrived, 14 September. In fact, this is a day that was on our minds for a very long time because it had been discussed so often, whether the game will happen, not happen.
Since May.
Yeah, since May.
We haven't discussed it?
No, we didn't know the date then. We were talking India-Pakistan, but 14 September was...
not 14, but we knew tentatively it was going to happen in September, October.
Yeah,
in that
the match was being discussed, but once the date came out, 14 September became the most talked about date.
Part 1 of the potential trilogy.
Yes. 2 times I think they'll definitely play.
Definitely, yes.
Third time is doubtful.
Yeah.
We'll see, but because of that day, 14 September, and why it was discussed is because we did not know that whether on 14 September we would be live at 7 p.m. or not. I think the discussion was whether we'll be live or it'll be Sunday off for all of us. And the answer to that is that we are live. And in fact, till I must tell you, I was seeing a lot of reports from ground. Till about 2 hours ago, there were reporters there expressing doubts that maybe there might be a twist in the tail. Maybe last moment the game would be called off. Now we can safely say that is something that you've gone way past off. So that is something that is done. But what have you picked up overall on social media?
Social media, the mood is of anger. The mood is of disbelief. There are a fair majority, I would say 60% or I may say 70% who are very angry that the match is taking place. There are 20 or 30% of them who are saying that boycott is very difficult. And that includes certain members of the ruling elite. I mean, Anurag Thakur had come yesterday when he said that, see, it's very difficult to boycott because it's a multi-nation event and all those kind of other dynamics. Sunil Shetty, the Bollywood actor, has also spoken. He said that it's a multi-nation event. It's a world sporting event. So boycott will involve a lot of complications. But on the other side of the spectrum, we have so many victims and relatives of the victims who suffered in that PAHALGAM terror attack. They have said that BCCI and Indian cricket just doesn't care for us. And the trend is very much prevalent. I will not watch the game, will you? Though the mood is there. That many people are in favor of boycotting the match.
Well, what I would want to know is that, again, I'm not disputing a person's right of watching or not watching. That's entirely up to all of you who are also joining us live. It's entirely your decision. But my point is, if you did not want the game to happen, I just want to know that what would have stopped this encounter? Because at the end of the day, while you and I can decide what we want to do, I don't think we've reached that as of now. I mean, unless you take the streets and you bring about a revolution, that's another thing. At the moment to, change the fate of the game, because this is a decision that is taken at the highest level, at the government level. Once they took a call that it's going to go on, the only way they could have pulled back was if they thought there was enough of a backlash. Clearly, I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe you're talking about social media, I don't know, maybe there wasn't enough of a backlash for them to rethink. I don't know.
There have been only 7 or 8 instances out of 1 million where there has been a backlash. Whatever is the backlash is like what we kind of ridicule them, armchair experts. These are all social media experts who had the backlash on their screens. That's it. But apart from that, there isn't much of a backlash. Only token fringe elements have done it.
I don't know. I think this is, if you're judging the mood, and oftentimes as journalists we get to know, because obviously there'll be people approaching you, asking you how excited are you. Some will even ask for tickets because of course they would. I think this is the most somber I remember the build up to an India-Pakistan match being to since the start of my career, and that was 2017. That's 8 years prior, 2017. I remember obviously it was the Champions Trophy final, and that obviously the Champions Trophy they faced off twice because one was in the group stage and then they ended up losing. And obviously at that point in time there was still a lot of interest, and even though there have been terror attacks that have taken place, I don't think there has been one that has quite hit the social media, let's say, spectrum as hard as this one has. I do feel like I haven't seen people talk about it as much. I haven't seen people, whether it be in person, whether it be on social media. I do think this is probably the most sedate I've seen the build up to an India-Pakistan match.
Why hasn't, my question is because he says seldom does a decision, happen where you do a U-turn. My point is, if you're saying that this is one of the quietest build-up to a India-Pakistan game, why has the government not even thought about, okay, let's not play? Why has that thought not even come? Because for the government, to go against the citizenry is not ideal for them. I mean, and it's not just talking about this government. All governments want to come up with popular measures to always be, on the right-hand side of the voters. So despite all this, if you're saying it's the quietest, then it's a clear-cut indication. If I was a politician, I would say, okay, this is the way the wind is blowing. I need to keep them happy because they are going to be my voters. I might change. What is the compulsion then of the government not to change?
I don't think the blowback's been strong enough at all.
Yeah.
At all.
No, there are enough people who are boycotting, but I don't think it's been enough to put pressure on the government.
I was looking, since I do follow what's happening politically in the country as well. There were protests in Maharashtra a couple of weeks back. There were protests happening in Bihar a few weeks back as well. One had to do with examinations. The other had to do with some sort of quota in jobs and examinations and in educational places, institutions. So clearly the priority of the nation is not this cricket match.
There was Delhi dogs.
Delhi, there were dog protests that we saw.
There was so much protest. People came on.
Absolutely, there was on WhatsApp. I remember, even though I'm not one for like I'm not a dog lover per se or those or one that's favor of animals, etc. But still, I got calls and messages from various groups, and there were friends calling that please come join the protest. And I'm talking about not just Delhi. I'm talking about societies in Noida and in Gurgaon as well.
Yeah, NCR basically.
In the entire NCR, that issue resonated with the people much more than this cricket match. I must say, there is nothing doing with regards to there being tangible or palpable anger, if you ask me. It is isolated, I would say. Some political parties have raked it up, but have they done a big enough job of raking it up? I don't think so. There have been bigger protests that this country has seen. A couple of years back, you saw the farm protest happen. That is when the nation got together, rallied behind each other for the farm community, that is. You've seen bigger protests, CA, NRC protests this nation has seen over the last 4-5 years. So clearly we've seen bigger outrage, we've seen bigger backlash, and on couple of those instances, not CA and RC, but farm protests for that matter,
India
you saw the government
corruption,
take the 3 farm laws back. So this is clearly not big enough an issue for the people of the country, and the nation is divided.
See, there has never been, I mean, if you look at the precedent, whenever a series has been cancelled, India, Pakistan, the one time a series got cancelled was when our head of state died in 1984. That was the only time it got cancelled. When India cancelled an Asia Cup thing, it was because of a security situation, not in Pakistan, but in Sri Lanka. Okay. Pakistan did the same tit for tat in 1990 when they couldn't get security. So that is the only time. But there have been terror attacks on multiple occasions. I mean, even when India started playing Pakistan after 15 years, 2004 and onwards, you had the Mumbai train attacks in 2006. You had the terror attack in Mumbai in 2008. But after that, you played them in 2009. Uri happened after
But there were all these examples, Siddharth, which you've given earlier. Those times, social media was not there. Now, see, social media that time can get you to change things. I'll give an example.
Pulwama. That was height of social media, 2019.
Yeah, but there wasn't. Can you remember there was this outrage about the game? No, this is the first time where people are openly speaking. That is why you thought that this time you will see something different. I can keep talking about 99 and whatever else, but the thing is, at that time there wasn't enough backlash that is coming. This time I've seen people say that they'll boycott the game. This time, in fact, I mean, how many times you talk about 99 and various other examples? It was a packed house. This time, we just did a live with Mr. Gavaskar. He said there is only a handful of people that have turned up. This never happened. You can give examples of right in the aftermath of a big terror attack, cricket has happened, but there was no boycott from media. There are certain media houses that are boycotting now. There was no boycott from fans. There are fans who are boycotting now. You will see a half-filled stadium today. That has never happened for an India-Pakistan game. So clearly it's different this time. I mean, there is outrage.
There is outrage.
But not enough for the government to change their mind.
It will never change their mind. No government.
You were talking about why the government would not do with, or come up with a policy or a decision that is in the right or goes well with the people. There are people who are turning up. See, as long as people will be divided on the issue, you are never losing as a government.
No, but let's take, I'll give you an example of the diesel cars that, that was also a decision by the government. People really were up in arms. They went to court, they came because it hurt them, no? They rolled that back. Same case with the dogs now, right? Because of the pressure, I'm just saying these are decisions that are taken by the lawmakers, right? But they do change that based on public outrage. If there is enough, they see they need to roll back. Even in farm laws, they made changes, which of course was not accepted, but they were ready to make a few changes.
But the entire thing had to be taken back, no?
Protest happened that they rolled that back. So my point is, every time you've taken a decision, and when they have gauged that, listen, this might hurt our vote bank, this might hurt our political ambitions, they made a change. Well, clearly, and I'm sure there are smart people there who can judge this, but clearly the outrage has not been enough for them to make a change here. Otherwise, ICC tournament and so on and so forth is a different thing. For now, you could have
absolutely. This was the low hanging fruit.
Correct.
The ACC competition was
easy. And a league match.
Because exactly. Now, by the way, you're looking at not just one match. You could be looking at, there is a possibility of a hat trick of India matches against Pakistan on a Sunday.
Or a 4.
How come a 4?
India versus Pakistan ICC Women's ODI World Cup also is on a Sunday.
Yeah, it happens subsequently after the 28th.
After 28th, October 5.
Okay. So yeah, see, but that's a different thing. It's an ICC competition. I'm saying if it was about sending across a message, so this was the match. This match is the lowest hanging fruit. Then you would have gone ahead and sent across a message. I know at the moment there are wild suggestions being made. Surya should not be shaking hands. The Indian team should not be following the protocol.
Naive.
Because we've seen this happen in Mexico Olympics, because we've seen it happen at international forums where you have not followed the protocol to send across a message, a larger message. I don't know that. I honestly don't think any of that is going to happen. However, the message is not to be sent across by Surya Kumar Yadav. The message is to be sent across by the government of India. The message is to be sent across by the BCCI. The BCCI is only the face of all of it, and all the anger and all the ire directed at the BCCI is misdirected, I would say right now. I see so many outlets, so many people venting it and pointing all their anger at the BCCI, but the BCCI is only following orders.
This is where the problem lies. People don't know who to target. They just want to pick a soft target. The BCCI is the soft target. We have been saying it from day one. When the decision was made, the BCCI were not the decision makers. It was the government. You have to target the government. You have to ask serious questions from the government. Because they were the ones who ensured that whatever happened in the aftermath of PAHALGAM and whatever it is, you could have easily taken some strong action. No, they chose not to take it. And that is why don't keep on doing what the BCCI, they are responsible for it, they should be penalized. No, direct your ire at the government, not at the BCCI, not at the broadcaster.
And it's also a bit hypocritical, I dare say, of certain fans, because on one hand, these are the same fans who will conflate, the Indian cricket team winning as anything as bringing pride to the nation, which it is. But then if you're looking at it like that, you shouldn't be blaming them either when the shoe's on the other foot, because, well, they're not really going out there to try and do anything. When they were in your good graces, or when they're now in your not so good graces, they were still doing their jobs. Their job is to go out there and play cricket. If you have to direct your anger anywhere, I would again even recommend, the board has many times said when it comes to India-Pakistan bilaterals, or even any other this thing which has come up. So when the Davis Cup thing happened, they said very clearly that, listen, we will do as we're told by the government. So if it is that simple, then I think you need to know where it is to direct your ire. I mean, that is the main problem, I feel.
All those people who are shouting, oh, target this guy, why don't you talk? Target this guy, why don't you talk? Why don't you tag a particular individual and ask that right entity? You can ask any individual.
I don't know who he's talking about.
I don't know. There are many people who are shouting their
Please give me hints, Siddharth. My political acumen is in that chap.
He's telling them. He himself can't take the name.
I can't take the name.
He
whose name should be.
I'm sure the country wants to be made aware.
Of course. Of course. But no, see,
No, whose name should who take? Or forget who should take the name, but whose name should be taken?
he's who is he?
Who is he?
Okay, let's quickly take some comments.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Shubham Garg is saying, I have received 4 messages on WhatsApp from Sony Live for match today. This is the first time this has happened. Sony is also fearing low viewing match. By the way, I've also gotten 3 notifications from the app. Oh, the most sought after match in this Asia Cup. I mean, when you look at the most hyped up match, India versus Pakistan.
To be fair, these notifications I still get because that is pretty much their job to send. Thankfully, I've turned off notifications. I wouldn't know about any of this.
Normally for India, Pakistan only 1. That's it. And the ticker boils down to that particular time. This time 3 times reminder. I also agree with you, Shubham. I've got that. But he's also saying
Shubham says, what is he saying?
first time Nikhil is supporting government fully because of Pakistan. Really?
No, I didn't understand that question. So I will support the government. By the way, let me just tell you one more thing. I am not supporting the government. I think what is the general consensus
Here is something
that
else.
if someone if you want to, really question the people who've taken the decision, then you know where the decision comes from. You can find foot soldiers and go after them, entirely up to you. But you are just, skirting the main point of the main issue. That's my first thing. And secondly, this is my general view, and it's very neutral of any party. All our job, every citizen's job is to question the government only. Correct. That is what we are inherently, doesn't matter who the government is, and I'm saying it is party A, B, C, D, E, whatever. If they have been put there, why are they there? Because you and I have put them there. No, we are the ones who voted. Now, once you give somebody I'll give you an example. If you stay in a residential complex, nowadays RWA elections are very big. Right?
True.
So then you select someone. Now, once you selected someone, then if you have an issue, who are you going to go to? You're always questioning the RWA. Right? This is not working. This is the issue. Why was this happening? Why did we spend money here? Why there? Why are these things not working? That's your job. It's ditto in the country as well. You and I have the right, and we should always be questioning. I'm not saying just be critical for the heck of it, but if there is, sometimes people say X government or S party is doing something very nice, why didn't you praise them? But that is their job to do that. Anything that is, I always make that distinction, anything that is praising some efforts done by any power or any authority, whether at a state level, government level, is PR. There's a difference between journalism and PR. Journalism is to highlight issues. What are the issues that everyone is facing, and put that. And of course, share your opinion based on your experience. So all of that is what we do. So by the way, questioning governments, and again, I'm not saying just this government, questioning governments for the rest of your life, and I'm sure you guys will see many governments that will come. Always exercise your right of questioning governments. That's the first right that all of us have in a democratic setup.
And that'll be the most pro-nationalistic thing you will ever do.
Correct.
That is not going to make you an anti-national, as many people in this country get tagged or labeled every time they question the government.
Exactly.
Regardless, this is not about the present.
Even at state
any
level,
government. This
Agreed.
is
Any government.
Local,
the biggest service. The biggest service to
Your
your
local
nation is
MLA.
questioning those in power.
your local MLA also.
Absolutely.
Don't make him your chief guest to come and cut ribbons for
Correct.
your functions, local functions. The other heroes in your society, make them and question your MLA. Why is the road not fine? Why is this not fine? You are sitting on my money only. And when they give money, by the way, for anything, it's like one ehsan. But boss, it is not money that you earned and you gave. If a corporate does give money for CSR, I understand this is the private money which they're giving. You guys sit on the money that you have taken from us only as taxpayer, and you're just allocating that money that you get from us to get some work done.
Basically, a SOP or a freebie is neither a SOP nor a freebie. It's
Correct.
taxpayer money which is being allocated to a particular.
Yeah. We should all
Exactly.
do that, by the way, please.
Rohan Verma, India lost the day they agreed to play the Asia Cup. Today's result does not matter. I just hope for one news tomorrow, if any BCCI officials are him getting a lot of criticism.
No,
Let's be unfair. That's unfair.
No, by the way, what we hear is that no BCCI official has gone there.
Wonder why.
Yeah, nobody has gone.
Obviously.
BCCI did put a tweet out first, and then they deleted that, and they put another tweet out, a mellowed version of today's game. They didn't even name the opposition. They said India are getting ready for their second match of Asia Cup.
The sequence that they've put, you're talking about that one?
You know, the shots of them.
It's practice and all, yeah.
It's a bit like there was, I think,
Oh, very
Punjab Kings
interesting.
who
Yeah,
put
it
out
was-
a social media post
Punjab
where they said
Kings.
India versus and blank, and that's they just left the
I-
other side.
I
empty.
noticed that something with that sequence as well, and what has happened over the course of the last 24 hours. Now, such a marquee clash, who is it that usually turns up? Either the captain or the coach. Who did you send?
Ryan Tender.
A voice that matters less in the backroom stuff.
You sent Ryan 10.
See, all heading into
Today,
this
no,
game.
you look at that as well. You look at the video that Nikhil's pointing out as well. In that as well, you will see only the support staff. None of the players have given any sort of a bite, and then that's something that I figured out as well.
Last 3 days, who have all come? Sitanshu Kotak's come, Ryan Tender's come. Now, heading into the next India clash.
See, I honestly, I'm willing to stick my neck out and say, I don't think this is all by coincidence. These are directions being followed.
No, 100%.
No such thing as a coincidence.
Everything, none of the BCC officials willing to turn up. Such a video. Who turns up to the PC? Who will turn up to the PC after the match as well? All of this, I think the idea is to tone it down as much as possible. Of course, winning would also be part of the many directives, but toning it down is also something I think very clearly it's been passed on.
Our good friend Chandresh Narayanan in the comment section is saying anti-nationals question. But of course,
Very
he's
cheeky
saying-
man.
No, he jokes around. He himself is of the opinion,
Yeah.
which he was,
Thank God there's a question mark there and not an exclamation mark.
which is of the same that we must always question those in power, whoever they are.
The shared outlook.
You sure? This is him just
Yeah.
having a bit of fun.
When does he not have fun?
Crystal Days. There is plenty of people outside the stadium. Full house, Crystal Days says. Okay, we'll wait and watch. But what I heard, because I was just live with Mr. Gavaskar from the stadium a short while ago. That video is up on Sports Today. You can check it out. I asked him. He said now about 2 hours for the game to start. At that time it was 2 hours. He said, I can only see about 100 people to the stadium.
I mean, even if you look at what we can see on our television screens, the top tiers are not very full.
So I think at best you'll get a 50% crowd. That's also very unusual for an Indian.
Exactly.
I mean, they're not always packed. I remember Champions Trophy also, it wasn't 100%, but you still get about 80-90% packed stadium, even for an India-Pakistan game. But if it's anything 50 or below 50, then that's very unusual. And then you must say that boycott has had some sort of an effect. Maybe not enough effect for the government to have taken a last moment call. They could have also. I thought, who knows? And that could have worked in their favor as well. That we've actually done what, we've realized that what people are saying is right. But they've not. So
Raj,
really it hasn't that.
People will say this is because of 50% tariff.
could be. The least we can expect from our players is that they refuse to shake hands, especially Fahim Ashraf. They don't need government permission for that. The Scottish team also didn't shake hands with Sandeep Lamichhane.
Yeah, when he was
Yeah.
Caught up in that case,
yes. I mean that's again a player versus player. We've seen it in other levels as well. Like in club football, there are occasions. There have been personal feuds that have happened.
Luis Suarez.
Patches Evra.
Yeah, correct. So where
Luis Suarez with everybody.
He shook everyone's hand but
Patrice
Evra's.
Yeah.
And he was the one who abused him, by the way. So what is he mad about?
So I'm just saying, whatever. I mean, players can do that. They can choose to do that. But what we heard from the team yesterday, and we can hear Gautam Gambhir, not hear, rather see him giving a pep talk to the team, and I can just imagine what we would have said, because Ryan Tendeshkote came and said that what Gautam's told them, that do not think about what is, and to be fair to him, I think that's the way. For players right now, winning this game is very important. You know that, right? Any India-Pakistan game is important, but now in this context, even more pressure for India. One, their favorite, one with things in mind. So I think the best advice you can give them is forget about that. Concentrate on the game. Deliver the result, and rest will take care.
I have a question for both Nikhil and Siddharth, also because they've seen cricket much more than
run as well.
Yeah, but very quickly, if you can answer this for us. We've seen strained relationships between the two nations in the past as well. 99, we still played. We've seen 2008, and there's a history behind such attacks that have happened as well. But to you, as in your journalistic careers, do you guys feel anything different about this particular match as against, let's say, 99, as against 2008?
No, tension-wise, like maybe other games had even more tension. So this game doesn't have that tension of an India-Pakistan game. But I must say, in terms of a genuine call for boycott, this is most than any other game. As I said, those games are chock-a-block.
So
packed
sentiment
houses.
wise it feels the same, but first time you're saying there's a boycott call per se.
Sentiment wise, I mean, in terms of just
Because
tension.
8, I was rather young, I was
about-
still in school, but 8 what had happened was
No, but tension about the result wasn't there so much.
No, I'm not talking about tension about the result.
Now, like the tension about the result isn't there so much now as it was there. Their losing, I probably was not accepted. Here, if you were to lose, I'm not saying that you'll take it. It is a lot riding, but maybe because Asia Cup, it's a league game. It's not like a World Cup game, and so tension-wise as to what is going to happen. I'm nervous. I don't want India to lose. That I think is a bit less here.
But
Boycott,
yeah,
is a little.
yeah,
bit
that
more.
sentiment I wanted to
Yeah,
know about.
that is. a
It
bit
was there in a very brief bit during the Pulwama incident when we were building up for the India versus Pakistan World Cup 2019 match. Yep. 2019 match you saw because there was a call. How can you play Pakistan amidst all of this? So that is one issue that I'm seeing right now. But this time it's been amplified and magnified 10x.
Yeah, I mean, Pulwama, Siddharth, even I remember that time. I mean, we were both professionals at that point. And I remember the voices that were coming, it was, dare I say, a vocal minority. I do not think it was anywhere as close to as intense as it has been this time around. It has been very
see,
vocal.
Okay,
there
so
are
Pulwama
people-
happened 14th of
February.
2019.
And you're going to play the World Cup 4 months later.
And you played the World Cup 4 months later?
Yep.
I'm just comparing timelines
Correct,
here.
correct.
What's this sort of duration we're looking at right now? Again, a 3
4
month
months,
duration,
3
4 month
months.
duration.
Yes.
Right. April 22nd is when Pahalgam happened. Operation Sindoor happened 2 weeks later.
Correct.
So there was some time for 7th or the 10th of
7th
July,
or 8th
June.
May.
May. That
Yeah.
it happened. And we're told that it's still ongoing.
Yep.
So keeping in mind that, so I'm just trying to see how's it the things are different. So this is not about the timeline either. Then, if there was a 4 month difference, then I see initially when the schedule came out. Also, if I'm going back to 2019, at that time you already knew you were playing a World Cup and the schedule was out. Here, the only difference that I'm seeing is this time you were waiting if a decision can be made on it or not. That time the decision was already made. It was about whether you follow that or not. Here, a decision had to be made. The schedule still had to be announced. But barring this little difference, is there anything else that's really changed besides obviously the sentiment which is clearly changed?
See, this time the magnitude of Pahalgam, we are now in a social media explosion age. 2019 also, your social media hadn't exploded that much beyond Facebook. Because Instagram didn't have the lives, Instagram didn't have the reels. You had IGTV until that time, which was its infancy. Now through reels, through all these other things on Instagram, and even Facebook has adopted that same model, WhatsApp exploded to such an extent in 2025.
Or would you say because the nature of this attack has happened for the second time this decade?
Second time in this decade, see, again, Pulwama, you targeted the soldiers. Okay, 43 CRPF Jawans were murdered in Pulwama. This time, 26 innocent civilians were targeted. The outrage should have been there for Mumbai when it happened, 2008. Sure, then you cut off relations with Pakistan. You didn't allow any Pakistani players to come in the IPL.
I'll add one more because remember, if you remember, 2009, the Champions Trophy
1 year after
was
that.
supposed to be played in Pakistan.
Yes.
But India, along with many other nations, expressed concerns, and the host was then changed to South Africa.
But already, Shane, there was one slight disclaimer there.
Yeah, Sri Lanka attacks had happened.
Sri Lanka attacks had happened in
That
March.
had amplified, yeah. That amplified the security situation.
Already there were people who are not coming to Pakistan because of the American operations in Afghanistan that were spilling over into Pakistan. So from 2002 until now, you did not have any of these kind of things.
Also, I think with 2008, Mumbai, I think the action was much quicker and much more decisive.
Yeah.
You snap bilateral ties instantly. Pakistani players have not since played in the IPL.
Yeah.
So the action was very swift. I think this time around, you waited for things to fester very badly on social media. You rode out the storm in the hopes that it would potentially not, that the storm would die down, but it hasn't. And I mean, you're talking about the explosion of social media. Lest we forget, we are now living in an era where there was a revolution that took place in our neighboring country, Nepal, where they ended up actually electing an interim PM, I kid you not, via Discord.
Yeah,
So we're talking about the power of social media. There's your power of social media. That is what has amplified voices a lot more. It's not just, by the way, Insta Reels and stuff.
It's
but
Telegram.
it's the Telegrams, platforms like Twitter, X are far more mainstreamized to the point where
when you look at revolutions and everything, when you look at the Arab Spring,
yes, I was just coming to that.
What led to which social media evolved from that? Snapchat.
And not just that, it was not just Snapchat, even Twitter. Even Twitter was very important and central to the Arab Spring.
Here, when you look at it, you rode out the storm, as Shane said, but then still people nowadays are just willing to go into your computer and just type out. But very few have come out on the streets against the government of the BCCI. That's not happened. And any cricketing parallel you look at it right from the 80s until now, there has never been such a precedent in India. So to expect, how can a nation stop cricketing ties even when they didn't do it in the height of a war? Forget social media and everything else. So our last full-fledged war was Kargil. You played them in the middle of Kargil. Now Operation Sindoor has happened. You will continue to play them. And see, there is a special arrangement yet again. What has changed? India, UAE, did you see the trophy?
No, you're right. The trophy has just been there for this particular match. Very interesting.
Exactly. So how on earth are we expected to expect our stakeholders to make anything different? They are hyping this match and milking it to every single premium that they can get.
But Siddharth, look at the stands.
Yeah.
Look at the stands. I remember I said it on the dugout a few days prior, where I said that people need to vote with their feet and vote with their remote controls. Yep. I fear a lot of people have actually voted with their feet.
See, it will be interesting for two things. One, the stand. Second, how many are seeing it on mobile and other streaming platforms? And what was it in the previous one? That comparison also will be very, very interesting at this point in time. So,
anyhow, toss news.
Pakistan have up to 2 bat.
Very interesting.
Very interesting decision over there. Given what we saw in India's first match, given the history of this venue as well, I was looking at, in fact, if you look at the last 8 engagements between the two sides in T20 internationals, 7 out of 8. Team chasing is one.
Yeah, the one that they didn't win, the New York one.
Yeah. But see, there's a reason. Salman Ali Aga said that the wicket looks like a slow wicket, which is why I think they've decided to bat first. It's a slowish kind of a wicket.
And they are saying it is not that hot today.
Yeah. So dew is not expected to be a factor. You're right. I was seeing some weather reports.
Not seen dew in this tournament thus far.
Yeah. No, but then you did see a bit although the game lasted just about 25-30 minutes, the India-UAE encounter, you did see a bit of dew there.
So that was, as Shane said the other day, it wasn't even a T17, it was just 17.
It was just T.
It was just 17.
Yeah,
just 17. Yeah. So that is why, see, but for the first time, I mean, if...
I see some breeze over there. You see the ribbons move.
Yeah, there is a breeze blowing. That's why it's not that hot today.
And that's why I think it's fair to say dew, I don't think you should expect it to be much of a factor, because dew will come when? If there's a change in temperatures from day and night. The day has been fairly cool for the most part. So I don't think that's going to change much at the night. Bit of a team news sort of a thing, by the way. Pakistan have named an unchanged 11.
Yeah, so there's Mukim over there.
So you've got playing 3 spinners.
3 spinners. So
Sufyan Mukim, your left arm spinner. Abrar Ahmed is your mystery spinner. And Mohammad Nawaz is your left arm orthodox.
By the way, Mukim also, you watch him bowl. There's a lot of mystery about him too. Because his action tends to vary. He's very, very fast through the air.
He's got a good, fast rotation speed. However, he just bowls a bit short. I was just looking at some of his videos. But if he lands it at the right areas, the man can pose a bit of a challenge.
Also, India also named an unchanged 11, so they too are going with 3 spinners. The expectation is that this is going to be a slightly on the low scoring side kind of a game, because I think the spinners, the tweakers, are expected to dominate.
And remarkably, Kuldeep Yadav will play for the first time against Pakistan in a T20I. He has never played a T20I against Pakistan. He's played 7 ODIs against them. And he's got a great record. He's got a 5-wicket haul against them. You remember in 2019 how he castled Babar Azam in Old Trafford with that delivery.
One cannot forget that.
Yeah. So for the first time,
Kuldeep Yadav first of the many Kuldeep Yadav classical dismissals, because we saw him get Joss Butler out similar manner later on.
Yes, he did. So, yep. Unchanged. Both sides are unchanged for this encounter, and Pakistan have opted to bat. But remember the history of the Asia Cup T20 format. The teams that have chased between these two have won. Identical margin of 5 wickets. Identical margin. India chased 84 against Pakistan in Mirpur in 2016, thanks to Virat Kohli's 49. India chased down 140 plus in the first game that happened in Dubai, 22. In the second game,
That's
it
not
was Pakistan. With
Super
Arshdeep
fours.
dropping that catch in the Super 4. So yes, will the streak continue? Because see, India, I think they're comfortable doing anything with chasing or bowling first. I think they're
I
okay.
think India would be very happy with this.
No, that's what Sky said. He said that we were looking to bowl anyway, so
Yeah.
we're very happy. They love chasing. That's face facts. They love chasing.
Also, any team which will have 8 batters, if you are batting till that number, you are going to be okay. You give us 220, we'll take that. Although at this venue, scoring 200 is not easy.
It's not easy because see, the pitch is sluggish. You saw even in the UAE game also, a lot of shots were mistimed by the Indians and it didn't go to the fence in that way. So there are two interesting things. Surya Kumar Yadav believes that there will be dew later on because it's humid. It's not hot, but it is humid. Okay.
Interesting.
Second, the advantage of conditions. Actually, Salman Agha's right. Pakistan have been in the UAE for 20 odd days.
They were playing the tri-series. You're right.
Yeah, and they made a big statement against Oman, if I'm not mistaken, when they are. It was Saim Ayub. I forgot. There are 4 spinners. Saim Ayub, like Abhishek Sharma, 4 spinners in that sense.
Correct.
But very, very similar make of the two teams.
Yep.
So there's Shaheen, the outright seamer in Pakistan, and there is only Jasprit Bumrah, the outright seamer. You'll have Fahim, who'll do the fast bowling with him, just as Hardik Pandya
Correct.
does it for India. So very, very similar. And then you've got 3 spinners. As for Pakistan, we just pointed out it's going to be Nawaz, it's going to be Mukeem, and Abrar Ahmed. In India, you'll have
You can have a 4th also in that in Saim Ayub.
a 4th in Saeem Ayub,
And a 4th for India.
4th for
Abhishek.
India is Abhishek, and the other 3 you know very well.
Kuldeep, Aksar, Varun in that sense. And also, if you have to look at it, Shivam Dubey also can chip in with the ball. Because
I
he-
mean, how
he
can
got
you
3
say,
wickets.
yeah, you got 3 wickets
3
in the last
wickets.
game?
Yeah, so that is why. Yeah, but then I don't
Although I would like to see an over or 2 from him today if things are in control. If India, see, if you're stuck with Shivam Dubey, clearly he still is a part of your plans as far as T20 cricket is concerned. And you will not have so many of these high pressure games. You have 3 series, 3 big T20 bilateral series after this, and that's your preparation. That's it as far as your T20 World Cup of 2026 is concerned. So why not? If things are in control, why not give him an over or 2?
Of course, of course. I mean, see, he did bowl very well right in those areas. Little bit of movement, not banana swing movement. Touching 130, 131. So,
Yeah.
I think he should be fine for this kind of wicket. He looks to be quite good. So,
Yeah, because at his speed, he tends to always have that very little nice cutter also.
Correct.
So if the wicket is aiding, it's a slow, low side, that could be an effective ball as well. It stays low. I remember last game there was one ball, I think he trapped someone, I'm forgetting who it was, LV, where he pitched it up and it stayed low.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's all she
That's
wrote.
right.
Correct, correct. But if Pakistan, India's bowling is like on the same composition bit, the comparison ends right there because the batting, when you look at Pakistan and India, there is a huge gap. I mean, I did when we did the dugout 2 days back. Sahibzada Farhan, Saeem Ayub, Mohammad Haris, Fakhar Zaman, Salman Agha, Hassan Nawaz. I've included until Fahim Ashraf, okay? The only player who has a 150 plus strike rate career in that entire lineup is Hassan Nawaz, 180. The rest are all in their 130s. And you know who has the second best? Fahim Ashraf. That's it.
I know, while the captain is all for gung-ho approach and all, and he's trying to just copy the needs of the format or just live up to the needs of the format now, he also has some socks to pull up.
But India, when you look at it, Abhishek Sharma is
193?
striking at 216.
After
In 2025 alone, he's striking at 216.
career-wise, I think he's under 93, 94.
195. 195 is his overall career strike rate. Shubman Gill, one match he got 220 strike rate, but that isn't saying too much.
222.
220.
220.
220.2. But then his overall is 131, 132. Sky's not been in good form. Tilak also 133, 135.
No, but Tilak is also right now the second highest ranked T20 batter in the world.
Correct.
Behind who?
Sky started with a
Abhishek?
6 that the other day, yaar.
Of course, Bhau starts in that way only. True. Fine leg in that sense. But again, quality. Sanju's also not been in good form, by the way. 119 strike rate in 2025 alone.
Yeah, but if you look at overall the career-wise of these players, yeah, some of them have had a few slumps, but they are players who in recent times have shown they're more than comfortable operating at a high strike rate. They're okay playing the high-risk, high-reward game because they know they are batting so deep that they can afford, if you lose a couple of wickets also, that someone can rebuild the innings and thereafter still actually look to play aggressively. So that has freed up a lot of expectations.
But there is some interest from cricketing aspect, I'm saying, in this match, because see, when did we see this high risk approach? That England series, those 5 matches were a prime example of that. Unfortunately, we haven't seen much T20 international cricket from India. However, in these sluggish conditions, my point being, those times the conditions weren't that sluggish. In these sluggish conditions where there's a team just following the same formula that you have in mind, which is bowl spin, try landing the ball in the right areas, make use of the dry conditions, slow conditions. How is it that India adapt in these conditions? If Pakistan spinners are on song, it'll be interesting to see this competition from the cricketing lens, if you ask.
The only bowler in the Indian team who's not been in good form as far as economy is concerned is Hardik Pandya. He's gone at close to 9 economy. When you look at Shaheen Afridi, 8 economy rate. Haris Rauf was the most expensive with 9.1. That was his economy rate in that time. So that is why the quality ends, because Jasprit Bumrah, he's a cheat code. 3.2 is his, if you look at his first game, he went for runs, but he bounced back with that Yorker. Overall, his economy rate is 6.2. None of the Pakistani guys, barring Sufyan Mukim, come even close to the economy rate. Sufyan Mukim is 5.93, his economy rate. So that is why it'll be interesting to see how the Indians play these guys on this kind of a slowish deck that is presumed to be. So Sanju has a weakness against spin, but I think since he's batting so low at number 5, I think he can prosper in these days. How will Abhishek shape up?
His weakness is a weird one, because whilst he tends to get castled by wrist spinners, if he's in good form, then by goodness he does tend to absolutely murder any kind of spin.
Rishad Hussain will testify 5 sixes he hit in that game against Bangladesh in Hyderabad. So yes, correct. Sanju has to be in. No handshake has happened. Okay, I guess that was meant to be.
That was a long expected lines, really.
That was a long expected line. So yeah, no handshake. And I think there might be no handshakes later on as well.
Even after the match gets over?
I think so. Yeah, I think simply they'll play professionally. They'll have to have a commitment to play, and that's it. So that'll be the way how it goes. So yes, apparently there was no handshake between Salman Ali and Surya Kumar Yadav at the toss time. So we'll have a cross confirmation on that. So let's see how that pans out. And yeah, thoughts, gentlemen, before we get to the comments. Who do you think is going to win? What will be the score?
Look, I think favourites, India are the favourites, because whilst Pakistan have recently started trying to become more on the aggressive side as a batting unit, they're still very much a work in progress. The same cannot be said about the Indian team. They are very much, in the peak of their powers. They're playing top-notch T20 cricket, especially as a batting side. So I do think they're the favourites. As far as this game, I'm not expecting it to be a high-scoring encounter, but I do think India will be favourites. I'll save our predictions, or my prediction in particular, for later on, because there's still some time to go in this particular, in our preview. But I don't see this being a high-scoring encounter. If anything, I see this being a match dominated by bowlers. And as someone who likes bowling a little bit of spin himself, very excited to see how it is that a lot of these guys operate in, I think, what should be the most spin-friendly conditions on offer in this tournament thus far.
Yep. So I've just gotten an update. It is not just this, it's been Super Sunday when it comes to sports. And unfortunately, we have gotten the news that in the Women's Asia Cup hockey, China has thrashed India 4-1. And that is why now China have ended a 16-year wait for the Women's Asia Cup, winning it at home. and India now will have to go through the qualifiers to ensure they get to the World Cup. So it's a bad result to take India, but it's been a complete Chinese sweep across sports when you look at India.
Lakshya Sen lost to
Li Shifeng. Wang and Liang beat Sachi. And now the China women's team have beaten India in hockey. So
the elephant and dragon coming together, huh?
Exactly. Oh, that's not good. So that's why I was just sending that particular bit. And when you look at the other sporting events now, India women's team are taking on Australia in Mullapur, and I think Australia made a great start in their chase of 280. Plus
Also, don't forget today, if you're a football fan, if you're someone who's not really that interested in the cricket, and I don't blame you for that, I'll be keeping an eye on it. So will Harshit, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on his perspective.
Fortunately.
There is the Manchester Derby as well. That's 9 o'clock IST. In fact, we'll try and do a preview also after this stream is done. We'll go over some of the things that have been happening, because I think it's been interesting times for both teams. I've seen some people on social media jokingly refer to this match as El Sakiko, especially in the context of poor Ruben Amorim, who I feel a little bad for him at times because poor guy seems very out of his depth trying to sort the mess at United. But I don't think City have made a great start to the season. It has been kind of mixed.
They did lose 2-0.
Yeah, so they lost to Brighton, was it? Oh,
Spurs,
of course.
had to be.
Yeah, of course it had to be. That always happens. Yeah. So anyway, we'll now get back to this particular match. But yeah, there's a lot of sporting action taking place this Sunday. There's been a lot of it, so very glad for that.
Grand Swiss, that's also taking place.
Siddharth will give you the updates for that one.
The penultimate round, and tomorrow is the final round. I don't know if any Indian can qualify through the
final on Monday.
Yeah, because it's 11 rounds, na.
Oh.
So that's why it's not 10 rounds.
Jesus.
Yeah. Shubham is saying though, I mean, let's go back to the comments because we had left off before, but because the toss had come. Nick, sir, BCCI government thinks India will win, will run narrative. See, we smash them in cricket. Real hell will break loose if India loses the game against the odds.
I do agree with that. If you somehow end up losing this match, oh dear.
But Shubham, this narrative is not new. It has always been there.
And I think people are kind of tired of that narrative at this point.
But it's been parroted around for years and years and years. I mean, in 2019 also, oh, Pulwama happened, we'll beat you on the cricketing field. You did beat them, but it felt so hollow.
Exactly.
Here also, if you beat them on the cricketing field, one of the guys who spoke to one outlet, we have gotten the story on Sports Today. He said, "Can you bring my relatives back?" That is the feeling. It is a hollow feeling at this point in time. Let's see.
Raj Sharma says that the government is one of the main culprits, but the BCCI is not Dood Ka Dhula. They could have stayed in a different group or could have not scheduled the match on a Sunday, but they chose money over all of this. Raj, look, I'm not saying that there have been instances or issues that I've had with how it is that even our cricketing board has gone about. But I don't think, as you say, they're not Dood Ka Dhula, but blaming them is, then you're looking at the soft target after a point.
Look, I mean, what do you do? Is it any coincidence that 4 matches potentially of India and Pakistan, because we don't know if they'll get to the final, but all the games India-Pakistan games are on Sunday.
There's a reason for that. And one of them, by the way, is an ICC event.
Yeah. So the ICC, ACC, BCCI, PCB, all the stakeholders are all hand in glove, my friends. If you can look past that, then you'll know where to direct the criticism. Again, targeting BCCI is of no use, because if I want to raise a complaint in a particular organization, I'll not target my CEO, I'll target the chairman. He's the supreme authority, right? So the anger and protest has to be directed at the right entities. In this case, the anger is not directed at the right entity. It has to be to the government.
So Naveen Narayan says just scroll down. Naveen Narayan says that the government in BCCI thinks people are some clowns that will only bark, and once the match starts, they can keep us calm and glued to the TV. Let's prove to them we are tigers by not watching the useless match. Naveen, that's an interesting statement, because I did say, and I said, the proof really will be in the pudding once we know what exactly, let's say, the ratings are, the television ratings. And obviously, it will take a few days for us to know that, but I think that will really tell you how successful the boycott attempts have been. So far though, I will say, if you are part of the boycott gang, off to a great start, because the stadium looks very empty. by comparison as to what you'd
Although,
expect.
Are we making that mistake? Maybe they could fill up later.
Maybe they could fill up later, and maybe
When
we'll
India
see.
bat.
Yeah, and maybe we'll see the TV ratings and realize that nothing has really changed. Then this India-Pakistan match will become like a certain adult form of entertainment, which everyone watches, but no one really admits to watching.
Correct. Vishal Panchal, will ICC tournaments face similar backlash? No.
Yeah, no, it might face some backlash, but I think one of the reasons why this one has faced so much backlash is because there is an expectation that, as Harshit was pointing out, that since it's an ACC tournament, it's very much low-hanging fruit. So you could have very easily just pulled out. ICC tournaments, I highly doubt.
No, see, I mean, again, are you willing to risk sanctions? Are you willing to risk that, okay, if you are the superpower, if you claim that you're the
is done
superpower.
only when you start not playing Pakistan in ICC tournaments.
Of course.
ACC tournament,
ACC.
See, why you didn't let this go? Why? If it was supposed to be the low-hanging fruit, why you didn't let it go? This is what the same thing that Vishal Panchal said. We can't isolate Pakistan ICC, but within Asia, why not? Asia Cup can work without Pak as India drives the majority of revenue, isn't it? Maybe not. Then why would you not want to let it go? Simple.
Because actually, if you think about it, an Asia Cup without an India-Pakistan game doesn't make any sense. So, well, there's your answer. There is your
See,
answer.
in 86 and 1990, didn't make any sense. But you still played that tournament.
Yeah, but 86 and 90, I'd say that, the rest of Asia was a little stronger than what the teams are now.
Yeah, so, see, whether you need an Asia Cup or not, that is another debate altogether. Now, there will be calls to whether you to have an Asia Cup. But at the same time, understand one major thing. India have been incapable of isolating or not having the strength to play Pakistan in major events. It's not happening. See, Pakistan did everybody a favor by not coming to India for the Asian Champions Trophy hockey, Asia Cup hockey, and they will not come for the Junior World Cup in December. But what do you do in major ICC events? Are India going to pull out from the October 5 match in Colombo? No. Are you going to pull out from the February match? See, all those people harping boycott now. Will you do it on 21st? You are, it's going to happen on 21st also, next week, next Sunday. If for the first time, this is a year of firsts, what if India-Pakistan happens in a final for the first time in the Asia Cup? Will you boycott that also? Will you boycott October 5? Will you boycott February 2026? That's my answer that I want in that sense. So,
let's see. Sachin Kashyap says, those who don't want to watch the match, watch the Manchester derby. It'll be fun. Liverpool, hopefully they'll drop points. I think Liverpool started playing at 7:30. Although expecting them to drop points to Burnley is a bit ambitious.
I think that's being said because Isak isn't playing this one.
Was anyone really expecting Isak to be playing? He's not trained in a while.
If there's a Salah, if there's a Florian Wirtz, if there is Cody Gakpo in your ranks, you sure can back this team to win.
Against Burnley.
Burnley.
well, anyway, there is another great match that's going to come. It's the greatest match this Sunday. Eswatini versus Mozambique. You can watch that also. Yeah. It's an African qualifier. Cricket. They're not playing football. They're playing cricket. Eswatini versus Mozambique.
I did get confused for a second. So thanks for clarifying.
Yeah. It's that game. You can watch that also. So let's see.
It's got slightly high because there's a lot of similar comments that we have. Anshu Mishra says that the BCCI is fooling the public by giving this lame excuse of geopolitics. BCCI is playing versus Pakistan by choice. Was geopolitics forcing them to be in the same group with PAK and play with them, so it's by choice?
Look, as we have said, there is a smoke screen that has been given to all of us for a decade or so. Okay? Any entity that has this double-speak attitude one day will be caught out. And I hope September 14th is the line in the sand in which you call out that particular entity for what it is. You all claim New India. What is New India in this? I just don't know what is New India. Ask the tough questions. Direct your anger at that particular entity. And in this case, I will say it out. It is the government of India. Direct your anger at the government of India because even they conveniently have been quiet. My folks, my fellow countrymen, our government of India has conveniently chosen to remain silent under the garb, we can't avoid playing them in multi-nation events. What's going to happen?
Actually, now that you mentioned it, a lot of the comments of those nature which are coming from BCCI affiliates. They're coming from people who hold power within the BCCI. You're not hearing a thing from the GOA. That's a fact. You haven't heard anything from there.
You can't. You just can't in that sense. So, Sarat Chandra is asking, what is Eswatini? Eswatini was the erstwhile kingdom of Swaziland, my friend. Yeah, Swaziland was renamed to Eswatini in that sense. Vishal Panjal, if we could have pulled out Ace and left PAK from Asia Cup, maybe the Asia Cup rating wouldn't have suffered as much as it might suffer now. Again, too early to say whether it would suffer.
I mean, if you don't have Pakistan, then you really don't have much reason to watch the Asia Cup. No one is tuning into the Asia Cup for Oman and UAE and Hong Kong, China. It ain't happening.
By the way, Monday we'll have a double header and it'll feature a great game between UAE and Oman. And you have got Sri Lanka versus Hong Kong, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the games. So, yes.
Dear Lord, that is, I mean...
That's El Clasico 10x.
Yeah, African Awesome says just go slightly down.
So, I think there's one question as to why the BCCI doesn't pay any tax.
That's a Pandora's box I do not want to open.
Also because they've been registered...
Societies Act
under
of
the
Tamil Nadu,
Societies Act,
1975. That's the
they've
thing.
gotten themselves registered as a
not-for-profit organization.
But if you wanted the double speak of the government, look at it. Every federation will come under the RTI except the BCCI.
For that matter,
Despite being an NSF.
For that matter, even the NSC, I mean the National Sports Code, BCCI is under it in...
It's only there for a token gesture. But under the main thing of what it should come under, public scrutiny and accounting, no way.
Anyway, couple more questions we can take. Let's try and keep it sporting because unfortunately, I feel like the entire build-up to this match has been skewed by geopolitics, I would enjoy focusing on the cricket, thrashing these guys. I mean, in any team in front of you for a change. Freaking Awesome says, good decision by Pakistan. Remember, we didn't have to chase more than 148 in Dubai so far. If they'll score 160 plus, then it's game on. 184 is the highest recorded chase here, even after many games. Yeah, that's interesting because
2022, 181, I think you chased, and 184 you made.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. I mean, 184 in modern day T20 cricket is not a lot. But it tells you what kind of conditions you've come up with against. Tricky, stodgy kind of.
How much did Australia chase in that semi-final of 2021 against Pakistan?
Just check because even I don't remember the exact number.
Yeah, I'll just check. I'll just tell you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we can take a few more comments from our lovely family members. Let me see. Sachin Kashyap says that his question is addressed to you. What if Sesko doesn't start again? Will it hurt Manchester United?
He's starting. I've checked the lineup.
Oh, so he is starting. That's good. Well, I don't think he's gaining any confidence off the bench.
It was 177. Okay. Yep, indeed.
GGK says that Sanju should play at 3. Sanju has biggest support in fans after Rocco now, but I don't think he's going to play at 3. 5 at best.
5.
At best.
Will he get a chance to bat unless Abhishek and Gill go absolutely bonkers yet again? I don't know. Sandeep Randhawa saying Garnacho, Sancho, Onana, Rashford, Eriksson, Anthony all gone. Good job. I mean, Avram has taken some tough decisions.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken some tough decisions.
He said very clearly that his job is going to be to clear out the dead wood. It's just that United have had to clear out the dead wood far too often over the last 8-10 years.
Which then makes you question what exactly is going on there at that club sometimes.
Yeah.
So, what time is it? 9:30.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Freaking Awesome always says that another interesting thing, Pakistan-India T20 games are usually moderate to low scoring. 200 plus has never been scored when these two teams have faced each other in T20s. 192 is the highest total, and I doubt that's changing today. Not basis what we're hearing on the pitch report, unless our pitch doctors got it abominably wrong.
I'm looking at a 150 or 160 at max.
I think 170 is what you're looking at, and that could be a tricky chase, mind you.
But Pakistan are batting first. Oh,
no pressure of the scoreboard. Very interesting.
Yeah, and plus
which
India
actually
don't
makes
have
the job much difficult.
Plus India.
How
don't
do
have
you
Virat
assess
Kohli.
what's a good total for a team that bats till number 8 and has 3 batters? In fact, I would say 4 batters were there in the top 11 ICC rankings. You know what? I was actually, while I was writing the preview for this match, I was looking at the rankings of batters. Top 20 ICC rankings for batters doesn't have a single Pakistan batter.
Okay. And the top 2 are Indians?
Top 2 are Indians. Number 11 is also Indian, and I think there is one more between 11 and 20.
That's 4 batters who cracked the top 20.
All your top guys are Indian only. The bowlers and the all-rounders and the batting and
Yeah, the top all-rounder right now is Pandya.
Pandya. Yep.
Chose to bat because they failed to chase 120 last time.
Oh, that could be something.
I mean, see, Pakistan have... The only time they have chased a total in excess of 150 was in 2022.
2021.
100 and how much was it? Wasn't it? But 149 was the target. 152 they made.
Ah, right.
Or maybe no. I think you're right. 2 times. So 2 out of the 3 wins have come while chasing 150 plus. Excellent. And one I think was 140 in Bengaluru, which I don't know. So yes.
By the way, guys, some of the lower tier seats are also empty.
Yeah. It does look empty. So yes.
So we'll see. I think we'll keep an eye on how the crowd thing progresses, because from what I've heard, people were lining up from 4 o'clock onwards to get in 4 o'clock local time.
Or maybe those were the lower tier guys who've just come in now.
Could be.
But having said that, there are some seats now being occupied in the topmost tier as well. So it's a evolving situation. Let's see how the match plays out. There you see. So the seats closer to the lower tier on the upper tier.
Very empty, dear
But
God.
it is still very empty. For an India-Pakistan match, yes, it is empty. Frosty start. There weren't any handshakes to begin with at the toss. Let's see if any of that spills over to the 24 yards as well. Let's see what awaits as far as this match is concerned. Pakistan batting first. They won the toss and decided to bat first. In
Right,
case
quickly, score predictions.
joining us right now, unchanged team, both of them. I'm going to go with Pakistan getting 259.
And 59.
No, getting
159.
to 100.
Oh dear God, I got scared for a second. I heard you say 259.
Getting
Everybody heard it in that.
Yeah.
to 150.
I was wondering what happened here. Dear God, okay, 159. Yeah, I think about 172 India win.
145. Pakistan.
143.
Producer off screen Shivam says 143. I don't need to ask his win prediction.
Also, since it's not been a neutral room today in terms of our discussion, I'm not going to ask for the winner.
I already gave the winner, but I think it's sunset at this
But
point.
only disclaimer, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So yes, we'll be back for
Siddharth is channeling his inner Linkin Park.
Yeah.
He tried so hard, got so far, but in the end it didn't even matter.
It doesn't really matter. Yep. And let's see. So we'll be back for the mid innings. Let's see how much Pakistan.
And Harshit and I will be back with you in a few minutes for a preview. Hopefully, we can be able to do
Manchester
that as
Derby
well.
preview.
Big
is
game,
coming up.
Manchester Derby.
Yep.
So,
See you. Bye bye. See you in the mid innings.